We still don't know exactly what the cutoff points for the stimulus checks are going to be. That's another area where now that we've moved into using reconciliation, this is purely the Democrats negotiating with themselves. But here is Bernie Sanders, who was on with Jake Tapper, talking about this debate they're having about where exactly the line should be drawn.
Where do you think the cutoff should be?
Well, I think what we have done in the past and what we have promised the American people, we've said two things in the last month. We said we're going to get you $2,000, and that's $600 plus $1,400. And what we're going to do is say that everybody, a single person, individual, $75,000 or lower, and a couple of $150,000 or lower will be eligible for that full $2,000, $600 plus $1,400. Now, when people said we don't want rich people to get that benefit, I understand that, I agree. And what we need to do is have a strong cliff so it doesn't kind of spill over to people making $300,000. And that's what I support, and that's what I think most people understand. But to say to a worker in Vermont or California or any place else that if you're making $52,000 a year, you are too rich to get this help, the full benefit, I think that that's absurd. And it's also, from a political point of view, a little bit absurd that you would have under Trump these folks getting the benefit, but under Biden, who is fighting hard for the working class of this country, they would not get that full benefit.
Yeah, imagine setting up a situation where people had done better in regard to stimulus under Trump than the new administration, which wants to say that they're the ones who actually care. It's a really weird situation. I mean, let alone, the fundamental issue where you are evaluating people's access to this money based on a financial situation that is like a year and a half old at this point and is not necessarily, for millions of Americans, at all representative of what they've experienced over the past year. Fundamentally flawed, and it's a terrible strategic as well as economic path to go down.
Yeah, I mean, but we love, especially in the media, I mean, like, it's always just haggling over but do rich people deserve the, why don't you just talk about the the millions of people that have fallen into poverty since this pandemic began? Why don't you bring a dose of what you do, which is, actual journalism and reporting. That's you guys. Bring that into the conversation, and then we'll see that, yeah, $50,000 a year ain't that much. Let's just throw in a cost of living stat. Hey, Jake, you know what I mean? So that, of course, never enters. I just want to make another point. I am fascinated and tickled and so happy to see Bernie Sanders on the front lines, working on the progressive side of the Biden administration as the chairman of the Office of Budget, or the Budget of Office, or whatever the hell, budget chairman. The point is, it's crazy. Because first of all, he's a way better mouthpiece than Biden is himself. Obviously, he's lucid and cogent, and really he has morals that he knows exactly what he wants to say. And I just want to hats off to all of the people, the Bernie movement, and a lot of the organizers that actually made for this moment and made sure that they were at the table. Obviously we have to see what is delivered, and obviously we have to see how this goes. But it is just really heartening to feel first of all, the guy was serious when he said, not me, us, number one.
Yeah.
Look at him, he's fighting this fight, and it is thanks to a lot of grassroots pressure. And it shows that maybe, that Biden knows that it was progressives and grassroots organizers that really delivered him this win. But just a side note, it's really nice to see Bernie in this role.
Yeah, no, exactly. Although, he does say the 1,400 and 600 thing for the 2,000. I mean, that just because obviously the sort of trust and affection I have for Bernie in comparison to other politicians, it makes me sort of think, well, if Bernie's convinced that they were saying that's what they were saying, maybe, but no, I mean, we've gone over all the evidence. They were saying $2,000. But anyway, that's the criticism. Other than that, it was a great appearance. It clearly really bothered Jake Tapper, but I'm glad that he's out there doing it, as he said.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.